Well, I'm here with another GMT800, which is a 2000 to '06 Suburban or similar. And I've done a few videos on these kind of trucks in the past. I've had a little bit of everything. And man, I just keep going back to this body style Suburban and Yukon. They're just such good vehicles when it comes to comfort and capability. So right here we've got a 2005 Z71. This one is in two-wheel drive, which is a little interesting. I think it's an option that probably shouldn't exist, but I was able to find a really nice example of one. And so that's what I have here. So I'm going to build this thing out, you know, just kind of mild, nothing crazy. Good for hauling cars and hauling the family across the country. This is a low mileage version, has a 5.3, and we're going to be doing some upgrades. And I wanted to start out fresh with a suspension and steering rebuild. So if you've seen any of the videos that I've done in the past on this body style, there are a couple improvements that you can do that make a really big difference. And we've done a couple of those here. Rear coil upgrade and some really good suspension. So this has the Bilstein 4600s and it has the Moog Z71 rear coils. The part number for those is 81069. And I'll put a link in the description to the best prices on all of these things. I've tested, man, so many different shock and spring combinations, and this is really what gets you the best result in my opinion. So right before we did all of this, I took measurements of the suspension heights, and pretty much where you're gonna get a suspension measurement is gonna be from the center of the wheel hub to the bottom of your arch right here. So that is gonna exclude tire and wheel combination, which is what you want when you're measuring a suspension system. If you measure from the ground, you're gonna be taking into account tire pressure, tire size, just all kinds of things that are not gonna give you a true measurement. So beforehand, we measured about 21 inches in the front from the center of the hub to the arch right there. And then in the rear, we were measuring 21.325. So that was with a little bit of a torsion key crank in the front, and just wasn't enough rake in the back for the towing that I do. So I installed the 81069 Moog Z71 coils, and now we're 23 inches in the rear and 21 in the front. But it's a little bit off, so I'm going to show you guys adjusting the torsion keys a little bit, and we're going to see if the 1 turn equals 1/4 inch holds true, because here on the passenger side we're 21.625, where on the driver's side we're 21. So if my math is correct, that means we need to crank the driver's side torsion key 2.5 turns to equal the same as the passenger side, which is an extra 5/8 of an inch. So we want an extra 5/8. So our front to rear difference is 1.375. And I think that's going to be perfect for daily use and towing. I don't want this thing, you know, really big or anything like that for getting in and out of, but just a comfortable ride for hauling pretty much. I also did a video on installing rear airbags on these things, which I think is a great upgrade, especially if you opt for the onboard compressor. So we'll just take a look around here. I'll show you what these coils look like. Yeah, look just like stock. Nothing really to see extra. Those 4600s are really what's giving us a good ride quality. So I did do a video on these coils, the how-to for those, which is pretty easy, which I'll link in the description below, as well as the other GMT 800 upgrades. So I'm going to be doing a video here pretty soon. Well, I say I'm going to do a video. Hopefully I'll do a video on a jump seat conversion, but we'll just take a look at the inside here. I'll show you how nice this truck really is. I have the dash bezel out right now because I was doing some changes up inside here, just cleaning things up with better pieces of trim. But overall, really beautiful truck. That's why I went ahead and bought it, even though it was a two-wheel drive Z71 package, just because of how nice it was. So there's the bezel back there. It's always scary removing interior trim on 20-year-old trucks. You never know what's going to break if you're going to lose any of these clips. So since I'm going to be doing a jump seat conversion, I didn't want to put the bezel back in because I have to pull it all out anyway. Whenever you do that upgrade, you have to replace this piece right here, which I have. and I went ahead and painted. So let's show you guys the wheels and tire package that I'm going to put on, so you can see what that looks like. This is not the jump seat for this. This is an original GMT800 jump seat that I think I might put in the Plymouth. But anyway, here's the wheel and tire combination. This is from a 2024 Silverado. I got a set of brand new takeoffs for a pretty fair price. These should be, if I remember, 32.5 or something is what they're going to come out to. So they're pretty much going to be around an inch larger than what's on there now. 265, 65 18s. And then here we have the new dash panel. Got it freshly touched up. It was in pretty good shape, but what we want to avoid is this empty space here. The original glove box ends right here. So we have this. You can install a cup holder, or there's a blank off plate that's going to go in mine. And then I'm actually going to use a GMT800 jump seat. Even though the colors won't match, we're going to get 3 cup holders and also lockable storage, which I have to figure out, you know, how to lock that. Maybe I can buy a new one or something like that. But here's the jump seat that we're going to install. Well, let's go ahead and pull the truck up here, and we'll crank these torsion keys and see exactly how many it takes for the driver's side to match the passenger side. So this is a super simple job. I've done a video on replacing the keys in the past, so I'm not going to go into depth really on that. We're just going to crank the stock keys a little bit here. So take into account how many threads you have. That'll be a good indicator of if they've been cranked before or not. These definitely have. You can kind of see a wear mark. Well, maybe you can't on camera, up inside there from where the stock setting was. So it should be 1/4 inch per full turn of one of these nuts. So I'm going to get going. I'm going to go ahead and turn the passenger side 2 turns and the driver's side 4 turns. And we'll see how that turns out. I'll go around the block, let it settle for a bit, and then we'll take a measurement again. All right, well, I went around the block after cranking the torsion keys, and we raised the driver's side just about almost an inch, and the passenger side went up 1/2 inch. So pretty much on par with the amount of lift you get per torsion key crank. I think once you get to the end of the measurement, you don't get as much as you did in the beginning. But yeah, for the most part, it looks like you get 1/4 inch per full revolution. The driver's side is just sitting 1/4 inch lower than the passenger side. So I'll give it one more turn, and then we'll stick those wheels and tires on there, and I can go down for an alignment.